Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not
Good
familiar
evening, everybody.
with the
Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron.
Sorry about that. For the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense, because here on this platform we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. For that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Also, the subscriber mode has been enabled, meaning if you are not a subscriber and you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you need to subscribe to the channel. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who were already subscribed to the channel. Whether you've been a member since the beginning or as late as today, I really appreciate all the love, all the support that all of you have given me. I want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices and all those who watch me from the clouds. So, if you have not done so, what I'm going to ask you to do is to please subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. Okay. As I promised, this is the other part of foolish people. Last night I was talking about delusional women. Today I'm going to talk about immature boys. That means males. Okay, so I'm going to give you example where some of them, and I use the term loosely, men act foolishly or irrationally. In all fairness, it was a little bit more of a challenge to find content regarding tonight's topic. Okay, and I see here we have Cash Out in the house. Good evening, Cash Out. Thank you very much for stopping by. Okay, so before we get into the topic, I'm going to share something that I posted on my Instagram today. So this is going to be another episode of In My Words. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but lately in some of the large chains like Target and other such businesses, if you don't want to wait online to go to a cashier to pay for your goods, you can self-check your items that way. Now, I came across something which I find to be very odd indeed. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share what and the video speaks for itself. So just give me a moment so I can share my screen. I mean, when I came across this thing, I couldn't believe it. But it appears to be reality in some places. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is
self-checkout.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is mute myself and then show the video.
Machines are now asking for tips. Yeah. So you have to go through all the work to pay the store. And now self-checkout machines are now asking for tips. Yeah. So you have to go through all the work to pay the store. And now self-checkout machines are now asking for tips. Yeah. So you have to go through all the work to pay the store, and now self-check.
Now, it's one thing if you are in a restaurant and you have a server and the server brings you your food. Okay, you're going to bring a tip because let's keep it real. Um, Servers depend on the tips to help supplement their salary, which is not a great salary, whatever. But now I have to tip a machine for doing nothing. Make that make sense, folks. Make that make sense. I'm sorry. I am not tipping a machine for stuff that the machine did nothing to do except receive my money. That's what they're there for. Now, this was going to be my candidate for the What the Heck This Is award, but I saw something else that's even worse. Okay. Now, picture yourself. You've been diagnosed with cancer. Okay. And before I do that, let me just give you cue in what is the heck this is. Now, picture this. You've been diagnosed with cancer, okay? And the cancer has spread. And now you have to undergo chemo to fight the disease. And it has a lot of effects. You're vomiting, you're not eating well, you're spending a large amount of money, you're literally fighting to survive, okay? Now, one of the things that you are hoping for is the support of your spouse, because remember that there was part sickness and health and all that sort of thing. I came across this video. I don't know if this is real or if this is a skit. If it's real, it's disgusting. So what I'm going to do is just give me a moment. No, that's not it. Okay, my back. I thought I added this video, but let me just explain to you. A woman actually decides to file for a divorce while her husband's fighting for his life. Let that sink in. That's so disgusting in so many ways. Okay? And she's upset because the money that's being spent to keep her husband alive is not being spent on her. Talking about your self-entitlement, okay? And all I got to say is, unfortunately, there are heartless people out there that don't care that their spouses die, as long as they have their money, as long as their desires are being met. And of course, there's always pain to the nerve that the man is trashy, the man is this, the man is that. Okay, let me make this perfectly clear. There are trashy men and there are trashy women. Okay. Now, with that in mind, we're going to get into the main topic. Okay. So the topic for tonight is immature boys. So basically, what this um, is to illustrate that sometimes men act foolish and irrational. And also, I'm giving the ladies the opportunity to clap back. Okay. Yep, that is so true. That is so true. And you know what? And let me tell you something. That is so ghetto for the woman to file for a divorce while the husband is fighting for his life. Okay. But unfortunately, we are trashy people who are both male and female. Now, why did I decided to discuss this topic this week? Illustrate a point, which is okay. You have women that act trashy and foolish. You have men who are act trashy and foolish. In all fairness, it took me a little bit more of a struggle to get contact with men acting foolish. Um, I don't know. I think part of it is that it seems like men are less likely to videotape this all acting stupid. Okay, I don't know. I don't. That's something that I'm not even going to ponder about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the first video clip. Oh, and by the way, the link to join the panel has been pinned. Should anyone wishes to join the panel. So what I'm going to do is share my screen and then mute myself.
Hello?
Yo, what going on?
The hell, what's up?
I right, you still. Yo, we need to talk, man.
Okay. What's going on?
Me and you are not working out, man.
Hello?
Yo, what going on?
The hell, what's up?
I right, you still. Yo, we need to talk, man.
Okay. What's going on?
Me and you are not working out, man.
For some reason, it didn't record the other thing. But basically, what happened was this dude is going out with a lady who's doing everything right by his own account. She's faithful, she's loyal, she's good to him, and everything like that. But you know what the dude does? Dumps the lady. Why? Because she's too good. And he's like, too good? Excuse me, just one moment. Hello? Just give me a moment. Sorry about that. I had to take a phone call. I mean, look, do you know how hard it is to find a good person to have a relationship with? Okay. Whether it be a dude or a lady. Okay. Now, according to the dude, which is a complete moron. Okay. Now, I see we have a guest. Okay. First of all, I let the guest in, let me just state for the record that the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host of the channel. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to your image. Some abuse people who might be considered offensive to some viewers. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel, and we're going to block it.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good evening,
My,
Don Armando.
I know, but my voice is a little bit hoarse, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm a European assassin.
Okay. So how are you doing tonight?
Just my voice is just a little bit hoarse.
Okay. So the topic for tonight is foolish, immature boys. So basically, this is the male version of the foolish and entitled women that I talked about last night.
Right. Well, I hate to say this, but in these YouTube streets, we have came across a lot of immature boys, especially a 44-year-old idiot that likes to send pictures of his privates to women. But and then you have certain people that they just turn 20 or something like that, and they use AI technology just to get people arrested.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just show a video clip. I don't know why I didn't get the whole thing. Basically, okay, I don't know if this is true or if this was a skit, but there was a dude that was in a relationship. He has a lady, and according to this dude, she's doing everything right. She's faithful. She's not cheating. She's loving. She's supportive. I mean, the ideal lady. So the
Right.
dude calls to tell her that he's breaking up with her because she's too good.
Well, hey, he might have did that gal a favor, because think about it. When the man knows that he's trash and he's no good, he's like, well, guess what? I know you right there and everything like that. And I know you're a good woman. But guess what? I'm too corrupt. I don't want to go around and hurt you. So before I know that I'm going to hurt you, I'm just going to let you go. Like, you'll thank me for this later.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we have come across a lot of these, and I use the term loosely, men that act very foolish, or they are delusional. I mean, we have seen it both in our real lives and in these YouTube streets.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share another clip. Okay. I mean, and I find it bizarre. I mean, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen. And like I said before, the whole purpose is for the ladies to, this is their opportunity to clap back and, say, give their rebuttal and, say where, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute myself, and we're gonna. I'm gonna show the video.
Say hello to the live so we can talk because we could have talked about it before, but now let's talk about it publicly so everybody can know what the
slamming doors. Like,
what do you mean? What I want to know is why you thought it was such a great idea to go with no, don't worry about the camera. Worry about the problem.
What's the
babe.
problem?
Worry about the problem.
What is the
babe.
problem?
Why would you think it's a great idea to go in my bag and take my EBT card, my food stamps, and go feed your baby mama though?
My kids, they gotta eat too, right? What you mean? So your kids
what does
eat,
that have to do with
your
our household?
kids eat, my kids gotta eat
But
too.
what does that have to do with
You're
our household?
my wife.
So why don't
You're
you
my
transfer
wife.
her kids?
Listen, it goes like this. Whatever you bring in the house, whatever you bring in the house to feed your kids, my kids gonna eat too.
Nah, okay, well, if that's the case, then your kids can be in the house.
Nah, they're gonna stay with their mama and they're gonna eat because of
they
your
can
money.
be in the house. How am I tripping? No, let's go live. No, ain't no need for all that. No, because why?
This is what happens when you get crazy.
What do you mean? Crazy? Oh, I can show you crazy, but you married this crazy though. But he married this crazy though.
Whatever.
So what are you
Look,
saying?
You're not gonna do that by my kids. You take care of your kids.
Yeah, and guess what? If you feel as though you can take from our kids and out of our household to feed kids, then why don't you go get a food
I got
stamp?
stuff I gotta do. Acting crazy in front of my staff.
What do you mean acting crazy? Ain't nobody acting crazy. But you could have talked. We could have talked about it. Say hello to the live so we can talk because we could have talked about.
Well, I believe that both of them are immature. First of all, if they had a problem, they should not be broadcasting it in the world. And second, he's wrong too for not consulting his wife on how to use the debit card to feed his kids. Both situations could have been avoided. And you could tell that both the man and that the woman and the pookie don't are immature. And they probably punch on each other.
Okay, I'm gonna start with the lady first, and then I'm gonna deal with the dude. Okay. I didn't like the way she come across, but she's not. But she's not wrong. I mean, in the sense that you don't steal to feed kids for another baby mama. Okay. So I can, I'm a little bit more sympathetic towards the lady. Now, as far as the dude is concerned, first of all, why aren't you okay? It appears like he's not paying his child support. Why aren't you paying your child support? Number one. Number two, why isn't the lady not on food stamps? Okay. And the fact that he stole from his wife in order to feed kids with another baby mom. I'm not saying neglect the kids, but the way he going about it was so ghetto. She's not the lady's not innocent either, but I to a certain extent she's right. Okay. And the fact of the matter is this. That's what happens when you have more than one baby mama and they have to deal with. That means more of your resources have got to be split between your wife and your baby mama. Okay. So my question is, apparently, why he's not paying the child support? Why he's not helping this baby mama get food stamps? What are your thoughts?
There's one thing that that you forgot about all this, right?
Yes.
If you actually look at the background of what that guy was doing and everything like that, it seems like that guy is a streamer or something. The reason why I say that is because he got that acoustic foam in his background. So apparently, it might be an internal issue where the wife don't want him to ever be a father to his own kids.
Okay. But you know something? The fact of the matter is, and this is something that whenever you date a single parent, you have to accept the fact that the kids are gonna, if the person, whether it be male or female, if they're gonna be responsible, they always gonna be in the kids' lives, even if the person's not with the other parent for whatever reason. And for her not to expect the dude to make sure that the kids, when the baby mother's taken care of, that's out of pocket. And I think, and Don Amando's, and he's muted because.
No, I'm back. I'm just
Okay.
Just listening.
Yeah. So my thing is this: whenever you date a single parent, male or female,
Right.
okay, if that person is a responsible parent, that parent's going to be in the kid's life no matter what. So for the new spouse, male or female, to expect that their significant other is not going to be in their children's lives, that's not being realistic.
Right.
And we can discuss that on another talk regarding the baby mama drama and the baby daddy trauma and what have you. But the fact of the matter is, even though the lady was not completely innocent, the dude was just as wrong for stealing from his wife. Good evening, Irby. So I'm a little bit more sympathetic towards the lady. I'm not saying she's 100% correct, but I'm a little bit more sympathetic. And I just want to say to the cloud watchers who are watching, it doesn't hurt to hit the like button. It's not going to cost you anything, but it does help the algorithm.
Well, what's up, Mexican bean soup lover?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share another video. Now,
all right.
Okay, the good thing about these videos, they more or less speak for themselves. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me just present and share.
Okay.
And then what I'll do is I will mute myself. Oops.
Not paying for both of the nails, there comes some kind of understanding, some kind of agreement. Now I'm saying, like I told y'all, like I'm paying for your bills and I'm paying for your bills. I'm not gonna pay for both of y'all, but we're gonna have to live together. We're gonna move in together.
I'm down. You're down.
She down, yeah.
She could be down. I'm not down for that.
We've been talking about this. I'm saying, like, I'm spending a lot of money on both of y'all.
It's nails.
Okay, yeah, but I'm saying, like, I can't keep spending all this money on your nails, your hair, and everything if you don't want to commit and live together.
But that was your decision. I'm not going to share with nobody.
But you already know.
You already sharing already.
You know what? I'm not moving in with y'all.
Why?
I'm moving with y'all.
You already know I mess with you and I mess with her. You already know this already. So what's the problem? Is she making sense? Is she not making sense?
Okay with everything, like it ain't nothing.
Yeah, she okay with it.
Okay, you get my nails done or not?
No, I'm saying I'm not getting your nails done. You're not gonna commit to us moving into the same place.
What about me, baby?
I'm not paying bills at your place and paying bills at her place and paying bills at my place.
What's the
I ain't doing all that.
I got all this stuff going on. You know, I got a lot on my
You got another dude or something?
No, I got. You know what?
Okay, then what's the problem then?
Just for some nails, though.
Man, this ain't about the nails.
Okay with it.
This is about
Daddy,
the
I'm
nails,
good.
all the
That's
other
not-
bills. She good with it. That's what I'm saying.
You know what? Y'all can do what y'all do, but it's not that serious over some nails.
Bro, this don't make
You
sense.
said you would get my nails.
You're not making sense. We're all in a
I'm
relationship.
not sharing with nobody.
You already
But you already
sharing.
sharing.
You already know I'm messing with her and I mess with you. You already know already.
When I stand together.
But it doesn't matter. Like, what are you
It
hiding?
does matter. It ain't. I can't tell you nothing.
Man,
It's
you
not
gotta
about me
make a
hiding anything.
commitment. I'm not paying for both of them.
Good evening, Mexican bean soup lover. Now, Daramando, your reaction.
Well, he's just a cheap bump polygamist. Think about
No.
it. I
Yeah.
mean, he's saying that he's paying for these women to have to just have that he's paying their nails and everything like that. So as an economical polygamist, he's like, why don't we just go and live together? That way we pay the bills. It's cheaper on me. And I got a house which is bigger for both of you women.
Okay. First of all, I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. There are some people, both male and female, they're not wired to be tied to one person. I get it. I appreciate it. Okay. And as long as the person, male or female, is honest and the other person is okay with it, that's fine. They can do whatever they want. They can do them. But you can tell right here, the first chick was not feeling it. The second chick was, and it's like, and my thinking is, where is your self-esteem that you gotta share a dude with another chick? Now I get it. This is some dude's fantasy to have two girls at the same time so they can do a threesome and whatever. But one thing people need to understand, when you have relations, it's kind of like you're forming a covenant with one person. Okay. So when you have, yeah, my sentiments exactly. So then when you decide to have something with two women, and there's a double standard, because if a guy does it, that's perfectly fine. If a woman does it, she's a slut, she's a whore, she's loose and whatever. I mean, that's pretty sad.
Well, if you really look at it, there are some societies that women have like 8 husbands. And if a woman does that, you forget that everybody calls the man a cuck. But what a lot of people don't understand is that even in neighborhoods. You could have a friend that might be from Bangladesh and he got a wife, but since he feels that, hey, I'm gonna have two wives because my religion permits it, they go to Utah and they get married where polygamy is legal out there. They go to the states so the woman can have equal rights as a wife.
Okay. Okay, again, and this is something, and this is a very important point. If all three parties are in agreement with this agreement, fine. But as we can see in the video clip, that was not the case. One chick was down for it, the other chick was not. And and look, and the fact of the matter is, of course, it is a male fantasy to have two women. Okay, because that means double the pleasure, so to speak. But one thing we have to bear in mind, when we get into a relationship, we got to deal with everything involving the person. We got to deal the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, and sometimes we got to deal with the emotional garbage that the other person brings in, and they got to do the same thing with us. When you get involved with more than one of the opposite sex, that means you got to deal with everything with both individuals. Okay, I have never been in that type of environment. I never wanted to be in that type of environment. I never thought to be in that type of environment because that's not me. I would rather deal with the idiosyncrasies and the bad traits of one female, and I'm sure most responsible females would rather deal with the idiosyncrasies of just one male. Your thoughts?
Me personally, I just think it's unhygienic and too many fluids are passing around. Also, let's see. There's a lot of people that they get into these weird relationships, I call them, because they're not monogamous, but that's my view.
Yes.
And I've actually been around music types that actually have three women looking for them and everything like that, and in the same house. So you have certain people that have different belief systems, and they don't think they're subjugating women, but they think, okay, we're helping women. That's their view. But to me, that's like too many fluids passing around.
Yeah. Keisha, if you want, you're more than welcome to join the panel. And I'm sure you have a couple of few things to say about all of this, if you can hit the link. If not, I get it. Also,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Don Jose, I'm about to leave, but it was nice
okay.
being on your panel.
All right. Thank you very much. And I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. So, look, let me just, like I said before, and I got to keep it real. There are some people that are not wired to be committed to one person. Okay. And that's fine as long as everyone is aware of it and is in agreement. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to share another clip. Okay. Just give me a moment. Um, Last night I was live for about 2 hours. I'm probably going to keep it an hour. Um, unless other people join the panel. Because I got a couple more clips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute myself, and then we're going to see this video.
Oh no! Oh no!
Now, I will never understand why this person took off his sandals and walking his bare feet in that muddy puddle. Looks like he could have just walked on the sidewalk and get to the other side, and his feet would not gotten wet. I don't know if this is real or if this was a skit, but the whole point is like it's ridiculous. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show another clip. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is yeah. Yeah. So now I'm gonna mute myself and share the video.
Oh, no, 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 no. Oh.
Now, a person got arrested because he was fighting with a person that took his pork chop. Now, can someone explain to me why he thought it was a good idea to do that? I mean, someone explain it to me, please. Yeah, that's true. I mean, look, how about eat the pork chop? Or what about finding something else to eat? But you're going to fight with a person over a pork chop and get arrested. Make that make sense, folks. Make that make sense. Yeah. Oh boy. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share another clip. And again, I don't know if this is real or if this is a skit. If this is real, it's disgusting. Okay. So what I'm going to do is share my screen. Yeah, I am sorry that you got dogs Mexican. Uh, oh boy, we're living in a crazy time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mute myself and show this video clip.
Absolutely. I've been in a crazy situation with one producer. I think I might have talked about this once. One producer, like, we did 2 records together. He was like, okay, I'm not gonna charge you, you my homie, whatever, whatever. And then when it came to, absolutely, I've been in a crazy situation with one producer. I think I might have talked about this once. One producer, like, we did 2 records together. He was like, okay, I'm not gonna charge you, you my homie, whatever, whatever. And then when it came to, absolutely, I've
Basically, what happened was this: the producer wanted to take a shower with the lady. So apparently, the producer had other thoughts on his mind. So now we have another guest, so I'm going to welcome my guest.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for allowing me up on your panel.
Okay.
Hello.
Good evening, Kesha. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for allowing me up on your panel. I hope all is well with you.
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. So tonight is basically trying to show how the men can act foolish and delusional. Yesterday I showed some of the ladies, so tonight is the men's turn. What are your thoughts?
Well, I like that you broke it up and you did one day for the ladies and one day for the men, so no one can think that you just talk more about one than the other. And I think there's a lot to say about both. But since we're talking about the men, I think it's there's a lot I can say. But one thing I do want to say is that I think it's really bad when men go back and tell their homeboys and their friends bedroom behavior or like author personal business and don't allow a woman to have that opportunity to, express herself and, paint the narrative that it's a one sided situation. I feel like that's really trashy and messy sometimes. And we do see that, even on Netflix when we see like the Johnny Depp divorce or we see couples like Will and Jada or Remy Ma and Papoose or just regular people in life, go through these breakups and it gets so messy and people start to pick sides and it goes to social media. Like I feel like there are some men that get really emotional and trashy with it and start talking about all the things they did for the woman and what she didn't appreciate and it gets kind of like immature-ish.
Yeah, like I'm going to give you a particular example uh, regarding my divorce. Okay, I'm not going to blame my ex-wife for everything because I had been part of it. Okay, um, unfortunately, we could not function together as a couple, and we had to go our separate ways. Unfortunately, it's so easy today to put the blame on the other person and not take accountability for your part in the situation.
Absolutely. Like taking accountability is so hard. We all think we're perfectionists, so we think we have no wrongdoing until someone calls us out on our BS. And it's a hard reality pill to take sometimes when someone's telling you what's not perfect or what's not great about you and that you could, use some advice on shaping up and being a better person.
Okay. I don't know if you saw the video clip where the husband stole his wife's EBT card to get use the food stamps for the children with another baby mama.
No, I did not see that. Did you just play that on your show just now, or that's something that's circulating on social media?
I played it earlier. I played it earlier.
Okay. No, I definitely missed that, but that sounds very disrespectful and outrageous and ratchet and ghetto and disrespectful and hella wrong.
Yeah. Now, of course, everyone has their point of view. Okay. And Donna Mango felt that both parties were wrong. Okay. First of all, I'm more sympathetic towards the female. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, there should not be any secrets among the spouses. Number one. Number two, if there's a situation where the dude has kids by another baby mama, he gotta make sure that he's paying his child support. And
Exactly.
and of course, he's gonna be concerned that the baby mama is using the money to take care of the kids and not to get the nails done and what have you. So I'm a little bit more sympathetic towards the wife. Um, so obviously she's going to get emotional and she's going to get upset because first of all, you're basically robbing Peter to pay Paul. And of course, you being a single parent, that could be a sensitive topic on your end.
No, I definitely get it. Thank God I never had to go through that, as a mother, like my children's father have been very active in their lives as far as us not having to be in court and going through that drama. I'm so grateful. Like we were all mature parties on all ends to not have someone tell us how to be parents and how to tell us when to, visit our children. But realistically, we do see that happen all the time, and sometimes it gets petty and extra for no reason, and the child suffers. And it's unfortunate that we just see that and it's common and it's not a shock, and we all know someone who knows someone who's been through that.
Okay. Irby has a point he wanted to raise is that women should not date men with children. You know what? That could be a little hard because nowadays with so many marriages breaking up and relationship ending up, and of course you have children involved. So that's at times that's easier said than done.
For
Um,
sure. And some
okay,
people lie about, their families, how many kids they have, if they have kids. So, sometimes the choice is taken from you. And I know that sounds weird, but that's realistic. Some people are not honest on first dates or in the beginning of the relationship when it's not serious, and they don't reveal real personal things like they're married or they have children or they're unemployed until later on sometimes.
okay. Now a little bit later on, I saw a video clip where there was a dude addressing two ladies, and basically what he's proposing that they all share the same apartment and that he has a romantic relationship with both ladies. What are your thoughts on the subject?
For me, it's one thing knowing that, maybe your partner or your significant other has other relationships with other women or other men and you don't know about it. But it's another thing to know that your partner's having other relationships and you know about it, and it's that many people, and you have to assume at some point it's unprotected and unsafe at some point. So I would definitely not be capable of handling that type of situation because I think I just overthink way too much, and I'm very visual, I'm emotional, I'm a female, and I think for females it's the visualization of us knowing that that situation has occurred and getting that out of your mind. And I don't know, I don't think I could do that, but I know there are some women that could do that and they'd be okay with it, maybe because money is involved or certain lifestyles involved, or there may be some benefits to them that they feel is worth, taking that situation. But for me, no, I could not.
See, I guess, and again, and let me make this perfectly clear. It's one thing if the person is honest and then every party's involved is okay with that relationship, with that type of relationship. But as she, okay, I don't know, you saw it, but basically, one lady was okay with it, and the other one was not.
My thing is more about, how do we know everybody's safe? How do we know no one has any STIs or STDs or something that can't go away by a pill or a drink? Like, how do we all know we're all not passing things to each other, whether it's, not that serious or a little bit serious? Like, it just doesn't seem sanitary. And again, I feel like this is how at least today's community has this high population of STDs because people are just so casual and careless and not even thinking about, well, can I get something, or are these people safe? Do they go to the doctor? Like, no one thinks about those questions until after the fact.
You know what? That is very, that is very true. And look, I get it as a guy. That might be some sort of a fantasy to be involved with two women. But you know what it is? It's a double standard. If a guy's with two
Absolutely.
women, I mean, if a guy's with two women, he's a playboy. He's a player. If a woman is with two guys, oh, she's a slut. She's a whore. She's a hoe. She's a
She's
304.
definitely a whore for sure. She's a 304. Like, she's all the negative things in the book you can call her. Because it's not ladylike to do that kind of behavior.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, but look, the bottom line. Look, the thing is this, and I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Some people are just not wired to be in a committed relationship with one person, both male and
And that's
female.
the truth. I
Okay.
agree.
And my thing is this: if that is the case, be honest with your partner or partners, and if they're okay with that, fine. Okay.
Right. Another thing I wanted to bring up too before you move on is that, in some generations of men, they're all about sex and nothing else. All they care about is action, no dates, no spending quality time together, no, outside of the house thing. Everything's always about sex at home. And that's a trashy method, for those generation of men that think that way, that all they want to do is just, satisfy themselves and please themselves. They don't want to take time to, show a woman a good time, dinner, movie, bar, drink, picnic or whatever it may be. Like, that's so old school. If that's still happening right now, I don't know. I'm not in the dating world. I'm not in the dating scene, so I don't know if that's happening. But if that's still a thing where men are just trying to, like, get theirs off and ignore girls' phone calls and messages and dodge them on social media and in person after they got with them, like, that's so trashy and old school.
Well, unfortunately, we didn't create a society where there's a lot of unrealistic expectations. Okay. On the female side, they want a dude that is 6 feet tall, has a six pack, and making a six-figure income. First of all, those dudes are very rare. And the dudes that are out there, they can pick whoever they want as far as the female pool is concerned.
I
Okay.
mean, I get it, but I kind of disagree. For example, I'm 5'10", 5'11", probably. I don't know. I haven't like checked my height in a while, but I'm a pretty tall woman, and I feel like there's more tall women in the world than short women. I don't know if I'm right about that, but I feel like there's more tall women in the world than short women, and I feel like there's more short men in the world than tall men. So I feel like the ratio for me, ending up with a tall partner who I can look up to, who is my height and I'm not looking down to, like, that's kind of rare because there's not really a lot of tall men I feel in the world. And I feel like tall women attract short men, like short men, 5'5", 4 foot, love tall women, and tall women be upset. Well, I know I used to be upset when short men used to be attracted to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why are you looking at me like you're so little? I don't care how old you are. Get out of my face. Like, not being mean, but like, again, like, it's rare that you find a tall man that, is attracted to a tall woman. I feel like tall men be liking little women and little men be liking tall women. Like it just goes like that sometimes. But I don't know if you see it that way.
Okay. I look at it. See, I look at it a little different. Okay. First of all, let's keep it real. The average male, whether it be white, black, Latino, or what have you, they make about maybe 40 to 45,000 a year. Now, in some places, like some places in the South, or like in the or like in the Midwest, or in the mountain area, that's a good salary. If you live in New York or LA or Chicago or Miami, that's poor. Okay. And we know that because we have municipal employees with bachelor's degrees who make 40,000 a year or even less.
Agree, because I have my master's degree and I'm still in like the low 50s, and it makes no sense.
Okay. Well, you know what it is? When you work in social services or you work in municipal government, one of the things that you trade off is a great salary for great benefits. And that's how it is, whether it be on the municipal level, the state level, or the federal level. That's how it is. Um, you trade off a great salary for benefits. I'm just fortunate to
Very
make a little
true.
bit. I'm just fortunate to make a little more than you do. But I've been working for the city for almost 24 years. So obviously, um, my salary is gonna be a little bit more. But 40,000 a year in New York, that's poverty.
Yep, it sure is, and and that's why people are moving out more and more every day for more cost of a better cost of living, and more opportunities. So they feel like they're getting more for their money, and not to divert off of that conversation, but bringing it back to the conversation about what you're talking about tonight. I wanted to also say too, I think it's like really trashy and wacky when men do like the whole mom thing. For those men that are mommy men, or they love their moms and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, this is a bit of a sensitive topic for me because, as you know, my mom passed away over 3 years ago. So it's it's a difficult subject at times, and that's why I always try to tell people, for those whose mothers are alive, treasure them, and if they have any issues, try to get the resolved, because once the mom dies, that's it. There's no chance of a reconciliation after that.
Of course, I don't mean to sound mean or, be, over masculine about the subject, with men and, moms, but, just saying like there are a classification of moms, who have babied their sons to the point of no woman can ever satisfy them because they don't measure up to their mom. That's a real thing, and it breaks up a lot of marriages and relationships with men and boys from different cultures, not just in the African American community, but I'm even told in the Hispanic community as well. And it's a real thing. And, some of the men, go out of it where they choose their wife over their mothers, and some men don't. They continue to choose their mothers over their wives, even after they have children.
Yeah, it's sad, but it is true. So,
But no disrespect, I'm not trying to come at nobody, no shots fired, just saying this is the topic for tonight. So just was bringing that up.
no, and and as this is not a dig towards men, just like last night was not a dig towards women. It's just that unfortunately there are delusional women, just like there are delusional men. It's just that we're living in an age that we gotta say the disclaimer like 55 million times, because it, heaven forbid, they didn't hear the disclaimer one time, then people get real sensitive about it.
Sorry, I pressed something. I thought I almost exited out by accident. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show another clip. This is a little bit different. Let me just share my screen. Okay. And now I'm going to mute myself.
Okay.
Three signs of a foolish man. 1. Speaking too much. 2. Putting hope in money. 3. Having no self-control.
Ooh, I have a comment. Another thing that I don't like as well is when men in relationships, whether it's dating, married, whatever the case is, they confide and they confess and they ask advice to men who are not married or who don't have, experience to give them information on, and they run with that information. Like, so trashy, like the whole forget that girl, she ain't ish. You could find better. Let's go to the strip club or let's go to the bar and get wasted. Like, no, like, that's not the right behavior. That's not the right group of people you need to be around if you're in any of those relationships that are serious of any level. And sometimes, not that always, you have to get advice from somebody who's in your situation, but sometimes you got to know how to vet the information that's good for you and not good for you, depending on who it's coming from sometimes and what their reputation or their history is.
Well, I remember our friend Denise did a stream regarding that subject. And you know what I said? No one should come to me for advice about marriage because I'm divorced. Because I got to keep it
Yeah.
real. Okay?
Sometimes you gotta just know when to not comment and when to say, I don't, I'm not the person to talk to, or just not say anything that you may regret or that may not be the best advice for the person.
Yeah. It's like me advising you regarding your locks. I don't got much hair left, so who am I to be talking about?
Yeah, like that's like me trying to comment on your religious belief. Like, how can I dare comment on anything religious belief that you have? Like, I will be totally out of line.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the thing. Um, if you're married, you really need to seek advice from people who are married. Okay, it's like like I said before, like for example, for a woman or even a dude that like want locks, they should go to a person who is an expert in locks. Okay, you don't go to a janitor to get dental work done.
Exactly. Like, I was watching a recent video on YouTube about Tyrese Gibson and his ex-wife Samantha somebody, and recently she's been interviewed on a few platforms about her divorce from Tyrese Gibson, who's the actor that played in a few Marvel movies and some decent movies, and it's trending right now, whatever the case is, and he's a man that was on display. He had a meltdown in life on social media and, went through a divorce at the same time. And now the woman he went through a divorce with is pretty much saying, like, she would want to reconcile and she's upset they divorced and she made a mistake and she wish she could change her decisions all over again. And social media and YouTube has been buzzing about it. And it kind of fits tonight's stream regarding, somewhat, men crazies, because some people think that he's just a little nut soul job himself, and he's probably bipolar or schizophrenic or whatever he may be. But long story short, it was just pretty much showing a man going through a meltdown with a marriage and a divorce all on social media for the public eyes. And now his wife, ex-wife, is now resurfacing, doing interviews saying that she wants him back. And a lot of men are upset, a lot of women are upset. And she said on a live interview that she listened to her single friends that told her to divorce him. He ain't no good, get him for his money. And she did that. And now she's realizing that advice she got from her friends was wrong. And she should have stayed in her marriage and make it work versus into her single friends that didn't have that experience or education to give her that advice.
Yeah. Well, before I show my next clip, first of all, I just want to give a huge shout out for you to make for reaching over 500 subs.
Oh wow, thank you. I wasn't gonna bring that up at all, but thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
No problem, because look, we got to celebrate whenever people do well. I'm slowly growing. I'm slowly growing. I am nowhere near 200 and I'm nowhere near 500. I'm at 238, so it's like I'm grabbing one here and I'm grabbing one there. I'm doing more videos on TikTok and things of that nature, and I'm posting onto YouTube. So, I mean, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So,
Absolutely, for sure. And again, we already know we gain some, we lose some stick around just for a day or a few hours and they drop off. So we know how this goes, but I see your numbers are going up again, like you're beyond the old numbers of 235 and stuff. So it's good stuff. Keep doing what you're doing.
yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this video and then, oh, first I'm going to mute myself and share the video.
Five signs of foolish people. Number one, they talk more and do less. Number two, they're least bothered about their self-respect or insult. Number three, they keep talking about themselves and just keep praising about themselves. Number four, do you want to know the five signs of foolish people? Number one,
That's funny.
I mean, look, it's funny, but it's true because foolish people, they're okay. The best analogy I can give is that their mouth is in first gear and their brain is in neutral.
You know what, Jose? Like now that you're having this conversation, I just really feel like this whole battle of the 304s, the simps and everything we're talking about. It really has a lot to do with men and women wanting a certain kind of attention that they're not getting. If you really boil it down to why people do what they do, like it's like almost everyone's looking for a certain kind of attention they're not getting, and they're acting out so they get what they want, or they're trying to get what they want.
Yeah, and I know there are people that are trying to create a gender war, and sometimes it can get a little messy, and you know, because when you have um, men and women that have strong views, sometimes it can get a little messy. Okay, and we have seen that on various streams and different platforms where people from both sexes are very strong in what they believe and sometimes intolerant. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Like, sometimes it's just really extreme and like almost intolerable. Like TMI, my best friend, she was sharing a video with me on Instagram, and we were just talking about how people are doing so much to get attention. It was a real video, Jose, on Instagram of a couple, a black couple having sex, like on Instagram, on someone's story. And it's like, since when did Meta and Facebook and Instagram allow this kind of content on these social media platforms? Like, how is this even possible? Again, men and women doing things for attention, like that's supposed to be sacred, personal, like X-rated behind closed doors, but yet people are taking things to the extreme. Like, you just said, and it just makes no sense just for views, likes, attention, and it's really, really crazy. It's like wow, like as soon as you start watching videos like this more often, you'll start seeing it in your algorithm on TikTok or Instagram. But people are really doing the most for attention right now.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. You know what? And what's even crazier, it seems like those who do the crazy streams, the emotional streams, the streams when yelling, people fussing, carrying on, what have you, that gets a lot of views and you get subs. But when you come to creators that try to create serious content and have serious discussion, you don't get that many views. Okay. And the sad part is that the one stream that I did that got over 500 views had to do with what happened between Gigi, Multi, and Rakim.
I agree. Like, like I definitely see that, on your end, and even on my end too. Like I look at YouTube Studio Live and I see the conversation I had on polygamy and why men and women cheat, those streams I did separately. They did so much more views than any other live wine and face I've ever done. And it's crazy. Because those were not
Yeah,
positive conversations. Those were like kind of like, what the YouTube spheres wants to hear. You know what I mean?
yeah. Unfortunately, for a lot of people think controversy sells, but the problem is when you get into the controversy side, you have to learn to stop. And what happened is you have certain creators that don't know when to stop. And what happened is they lose their ability to make money. First, we had Fresh and Fit, they got demonetized. Radical Latino got demonetized, but the situation was different. I mean, he was just sharing other content without their permission. And then we have Cynthia G, who actually got demonetized not once, but multiple times.
Well, again, like Irby said in the chat, sex sells, and all the drama sells, like you're saying, and we are YouTube content creators. We see what's moving and what's not. We know the race conversation moves. We know the whole gun and fighting and all that crazy, rat shit, abuse and blood shatter gruesomeness, sells on YouTube and selling clothes and item sales and DIY videos and outside of that, nothing else really sells. Nothing positive sells. They want to see that instantaneous turnaround information.
Okay, I'm gonna walk in another guest. Good evening, Mama. Oops. Oh boy.
Uh-huh.
Good evening, Mama.
Yes, yes, Don Jose, good evening. How you doing? Hey, Kichel, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, Ramon? Good evening.
So, yeah. So tonight the topic is foolish boys. So basically, it's the showing how certain males act foolish and stupid.
Yes, yes. That is a thing. That is a thing. Um there are certain types. There are certain types of dudes that do seem like they didn't grow up. They didn't grow up and they are into the antics and they may get older, but they don't necessarily get wiser. So that happens. That is a thing, and I for one wouldn't excuse it. I don't excuse it at all, and I don't think many people are gonna be excusing it. I mean, immaturity from guys, from dudes, from young men that should know better. I mean, I'm not. giving an excuse. Does it happen? Yes, but I think that that's something that is brought out and mentioned, and it's being dudes are gonna be held accountable for it as they should. So I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I'm very much pro my gender, our gender. Yes, yes, but if some dude is acting foolish and acting out of place, out of pocket, as they say, then proper criticism should come their way because I mean this is making the rest of us look bad. So I don't
It's
have a
true.
problem. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true. But on the positive note, it is now 57 days until the
Uh,
first day of winter.
Oh
don't
my God,
don't
Jose, no,
start.
it's too
Don't
soon. It's
start.
too soon. I'm gonna step down, guys. I'm gonna try to come back. I'm gonna just make sure my daughter did her homework. If she did, I'll be right back. If not, I'm gonna have to be in the chat.
All
Well,
right.
okay. Well, if you can come back, fine. If not, it's okay. Thank you very much for stopping by.
Thank you. Good to see you, Ramon.
You too. You too.
And thanks, Jose,
Take
for having
care.
me up.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye bye.
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 So I just, when I came up with this series, because it's a series, I
Hmm.
wanted to show people acting delusional and foolish, but I just didn't want to make it just the females. I have to address the females and the males as well, because unfortunately, it can easily become female bashing or male bashing.
Hmm. No, I'm all for bringing balance to it, and eventually I will have to do something myself to kind of bring balance to it because I do criticize women, and because I don't be really criticizing dudes so much because dudes get criticized already get heavily criticized, so I see it as being kind of redundant. But criticism for women is different because that doesn't happen as much, and you get accused of being a misogynist if you call out something, if you bring out some kind of criticism, then you become a misogynist. And it's not about misogyny at all. It's because there is not so much accountability on that end. But when it comes to guys being held accountable, I mean that accountability is swift. It doesn't hold back, and when it comes from the women, it's like very visceral, very intense, very quick, very swift. And when it comes to a man doing something wrong, the accountability is gonna be there, and it's gonna be swift, and it's gonna be very much there. I mean, we can't escape it, and we can't um, be crying for sympathy and empathy because they're gonna be labeled as weak. So, but still, if it has to be mentioned, it has to be mentioned. That are because I care about our gender, and I don't want some of the weak ones that don't represent us well to represent us. I don't want that. So if there is an instance in which the guy did wrong, objectively, if the guy did wrong, and he should be held accountable for it because the immaturity is a weakness, and when one is an adult and grown, then there is no place for it. There is no place for immature. We're supposed to be the leaders of a community. And that's usually how it is around the world in many cultures. So there are cultures that have rites of passage, specifically because of that. So it's a rites of passage from boys to men, um, and that's in different cultures around the world. There is a reason for that because the maturity, the grown men are needed in communities.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, earlier tonight, I saw a video clip where a man actually stole his wife's EBT card to use it to get food stamps, buy food for the kids and the baby and the baby mama.
Hmm.
And she was upset because he stole and he didn't tell her. Okay. Now, I'm a little bit more sympathetic towards the women, and I'm going to tell you why. Because there should not be secrets within a relationship or a marriage. Number one. And number two, it makes me wonder maybe the guy is not paying his child support to the baby mama for whatever reason. And one thing we have to bear in mind whenever we date a single parent, whether it be male or female, we have to understand that if the person responsible, that person is going to be in the children's life, providing their basic needs and to be a parental figure. Your thoughts?
No, definitely, definitely. That's something that has to be thought about when somebody is dating, and um, especially when it comes to guys. When it comes to guys, and then they're meeting a woman, and the woman happens to be a single mother. He always has to consider that there is a level of importance that is always bestowed on the kids, on the children. They are always going to come first, and he's never
Mhm.
and the guy is never going to be that important. So that's something to consider. And that ideally, it would be better if he could meet somebody that doesn't have kids, which is it could be a lot to ask, because okay, when one is younger, one can look for that, but as the years pass, eventually somebody's going to be having a kid, and there are going to be more and more women that are going to be moms, that are going to be single mothers. So one has to consider that there are going to be uh, single mothers. That's something that I came to understand when I came of age, when I was younger. That eventually I was going to have to, if I don't get married, eventually I was going to come across a single mother, somebody who is otherwise being very nice person, but she will be a single mother, and I will have to take that into consideration if I'm going to be dating this woman. Um, so it happens that happens, and one has to take that into consideration, that the kids needs are always going to be more important that the guy's needs for the companionship. I mean, that's basically how it goes. The kids are going to be first, and and have some time for with the mother that is going to come second. That's why it's best that if one has to be with a single mother, it's better if she only has like one kid, and leave it at that. Because any more than that, then her attention is going to be too divided. So it's not something that a man should subject himself to.
Yeah.
If she's going to be a
Well,
single
I
mother,
think
then let her one. But that should be, that's what I would recommend. Mhm.
we have to make a distinction between the single mothers who became single mothers because they broke up with the dude, compared to the single mothers because the dude died. So we have to make a distinction, and we have to also make a distinction if she's a single mother because she became a widow.
No, I understand. I'm not really putting. I'm not really making those distinctions, and I'm not passing judgment on somebody who is a single mother. But the thing is that it also depends on how she handles the situation. But because if she is somebody who is being irresponsible with her womb, and she has like two or three kids, each with a different daddy, each has a different dad, different baby daddy, then she's showing that she's irresponsible. And a man shouldn't get together with somebody like that, who's showing that she's irresponsible. Um, so one has to make sure that if they meet somebody who is a single mother, then the man is gonna have to have the responsibility of not getting caught up with the wrong type of woman, whether she's single mother or not, because maybe she doesn't have any kids, but that doesn't mean that that alone makes her a good woman. And the man has the responsibility of discernment because he has to protect himself. The man, we can't really afford mistakes because women can afford the mistakes, but women can't afford the mistakes because a mistake could mean 18 years of child support by making a mistake, by being human, making a human error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I came across a video clip months ago where a dude is with a chick who has children by five different baby daddies.
Mm.
And then she asks the dude when they're going to get married. And the dude says, "Well, I'm not going to marry you. You have too many baby daddies." And
Yeah.
it's like, first of all, so she's not good enough to wipe out, but she's good enough to smash.
With five different kids, well, she's shown irresponsibility. So maybe she is good enough to smash only. Because somebody like that is too much of a complication. I mean, too. No, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't be with somebody like that. I personally couldn't. If she were to have one kid, okay. But you're talking about somebody who has 4 or 5 different baby daddies. No, can't do it. I can't do it. It might seem a bit mean, but I couldn't do it, and I would recommend the guy to not continue that any further, especially if the guy doesn't have any kids, then definitely it should be good enough to smash. Oh yes, because she has a lot going on. She has a lot going on, and all she can do is complicate his life. Yeah, that's it. Might seem kind of mean me saying that, but that's what I would recommend. So somebody like that, she's already has a lot of chaos, a lot of chaos going on in her life. And
Yeah.
as a man, you men don't want to have to deal with 4 different baby daddies because there is always one of them. There is always one of them that is gonna be um that is not gonna be like a really grown full man. It's gonna be one of those immature little boys that you're talking about. That's how it usually is. When a woman has like several baby daddies, at least one of them is gonna be what difficult to deal with because he's immature and emotional and wanted to start shit, wanted to start trouble. Those things happen. So I wouldn't recommend it. Getting married to somebody like that she's a big liability. She's not an asset. She's a big liability to him. So and
Yeah.
and the thing is that he's gonna be expected to provide for all of these kids, but he doesn't have any real rights to those kids. He's not gonna be able to discipline those kids because of they could be disrespectful towards him as the stepdad, and if he's trying to exert some level of discipline, then there is gonna be the quick reminder: "You ain't my daddy." And that's why he shouldn't be doing that. No, he shouldn't marry her.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, look, let me tell you something. When a chick has five different baby daddies, basically, I'm sorry, she's the community kitty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
no problem. Look, I mean, it's one thing to make one mistake and you get pregnant, but you get pregnant the second time, the third time, fourth time, fifth time. That's not a
Yeah,
mistake.
that's just being irresponsible. That's just being irresponsible because you cannot. Okay, yes, there is responsibility on the baby daddies because he went in raw and all. Yeah, but the thing is that that's a quick cop out because so many women put all of the responsibility for for the whole thing on the guy. So responsibility has also to be on the woman because she's the only one who has reproductive rights. Let's understand that the man doesn't have reproductive rights. Maybe now that is the whole thing when a man can, the one who is alleged to be a dad can demand a paternity test before he signs anything, before he signs any birth certificate or all of that. Understand that signing a birth certificate that doesn't grant any rights, any paternal rights or reproductive rights. That's not what it means. That signing a birth certificate only means that he's gonna have to pay child support. That's the only thing that it means. Yeah.
Yeah. If it was left up to me, they would have to do a DNA test once the child was born,
It should be
and
mandatory.
that would eliminate the maternity fraud.
Yeah.
I actually did a stream about that. I think I got like last week or 2 weeks ago on the subject.
Mhm.
But what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to wrap this up. Ramon, are you able to hang out in the backstage for a moment, or you're busy?
Yeah, I can be there for a few minutes.
Okay, so now we're gonna take closing remarks. First of all, shout out to everyone who entered a comment in chat, and shout out to everyone in the panel. So now I'm gonna start with the lover of coal, who thinks Orchard Beach is the French Riviera of the Bronx, who thinks Orchard Beach is more beautiful than the beaches of Loquillo, who wants to go to Times Square and wear shorts and sandals to watch the ball drop, who wants to be buried in snow, who wants to go to Coney Island on New Year's Day to swim in the ocean, who wants to be the president of the Golden Spear, the introvert Boricua.
Come on, Don Jose. You just made a blasphemy right there talking about Orchard Beach better than Luquillo. Stop. And that's blasphemy. There is no comparison. No comparison at all. But but I want to say thank you for letting me be on your panel. It's just that I know that I came up late. I got held up doing something. But yeah. I mean, this is one of those subjects that, hey, no problem. That has to be talked about too, because we talk about about the responsibility, the irresponsibility of certain women, but that's because in the society that we're in, that's not talked about enough. Now, immaturity, irresponsibility, that's something that can put a man in jail in this society, because men are being held accountable. But that doesn't mean that we can't talk about it. We definitely can. So yeah, and we're dealing more and more with immaturity, with young men, especially in the younger generations, because they may have been coddled a little bit more, and they're not being raised with the type of strong fathers that will teach them things that will actually help their survival if things were to go to hell. They have been very sheltered, they have been very coddled, so they're having issues of arrested development. This is more in the younger generation. So that is also a thing that can be looked at, that can be addressed, because it could be an issue, a real issue. It could be a real problem, because we see it. The younger generations, there are these guys that are older, but they're still too attached to their parents, and that it shouldn't be like that. It's arrested development, and so a lot of that immaturity comes from that. And I'm not one of these younger generations. I had to take responsibility earlier when I was still a teenager. but I'm talking about the younger ones. I mean, for whatever reasons, circumstances, they have been sheltered more. And but I don't know what's gonna happen. I hear that Generation Alpha. There's gonna be the Generation Alpha that's coming up, and that generation is gonna be more like our generations, kind of like um, the your generation and my generation and my generation X, where we as kids we spent a lot of time outside. We were not that sheltered. I mean, and those were great times. I mean, we will go out and riding our bikes all day. We will be around out and about all day. So I understand that maybe in the following generations it might go back more to being that, which will be a great thing. But that's it, and that's all I have. So I thank you. I thank you for letting me be on your panel, and looking forward to the next one.
Okay, thank you very much, Ramon. I'm going to put you in the backstage, so don't go away. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you my final thoughts. So, again, this is not meant to be a jab at men, but unfortunately, there are some irresponsible and foolish males out there. So, that was the whole point. There are people, you could be foolish and irresponsible to be a male or a female. Now, I'm going to be doing a stream on Friday when it comes to spam calls. We all get them all the time. And sometimes they could be annoying, they could be frustrating, they could be threatening. So I'm going to be talking about how to deal with those type of people. Okay. So, and I will let people share the next stream because it's something, information that we all need to know. So if you're not done so, please subscribe to Don Amando's channel. Please subscribe to Wine and FaceTime. Please subscribe to the Intro Periqua. And please subscribe to Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. So what we're going to do is we're going to depart with the same words I always say. We must do everything possible to minimize our contact with the mentally and intellectually challenged. Because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Wishing you all good night, take care, and peace.